Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is another comic book market report from Ferdbird the Nerd myself, and we are talking about July 16th, Tuesday, 2024. Should have said Tuesday, July 16th, 2024. Anyway, yeah, just another fun one. I put some very current ones. About half the list here are current ones. I ended one with I don't really like doing this, but I just feel the last one we're talking about has a little bit of unheard of momentum that could be a good buying opportunity. I feel like if you're buying modern graded books in 9.8 or for like investment opportunities, especially within the Marvel or DC, like the big two guys, where a lot of that hope is hinged on those characters or those first appearances or whatever is pertained to those. You have to have at least a 50 to 100% return on investment, at least 50. I guess 100 is like whatever. But so I don't try and find like buy this on the, on the low or what have you. I just feel that like you have to look into consistency of the value of that comic, and if it's kept kind of even keel or kept that, that high percentage for a very long period of time, that means that people are not selling that book or that the floor has been hit. And I feel like this book that at the end, and I'll talk about, which I love and I have 3 copies of, has hit a floor based off of a couple things that are comic book related and quote unquote MCU, or we'll just get into it later. But I want to thank everyone that's been supportive of the channel. We're at 675 subscribers, almost at 700. You guys joining us on Sundays live is means the world to us. Try and watch these market shows. I try and do them once a week. I'm doing one for comic books, obviously, because that's the majority of our viewers. I'm doing one for video games as well. Something I'm kind of going more into than as I find out, and something a little new. I'm trying to do market reports on One Piece and trying to get into that market. It's I think it's on the ground running. But if you guys could hit that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends, make comments in the comments below. I know some people have made comments that are really great for feedback, and I'm more than open to discussion, or that maybe add something else, or maybe look more into DC. Like, I'm more happy to look into more stuff. But if I don't know what you guys want, I won't be able to know what you guys want, and I want to be able to garner towards the audience that we have here. And so without further ado, let's get into the list. I only have 9 books this week, and again, like I said, a lot of them are very similar, or are very newer books. So I think the market's still pretty like good. It's consistent for 2024 going into the year. We had some really good like stories. We had, gosh, Ultimate Spider-Man was really great. I'm really digging the new Energon universe, which you'll see in this market report as well. Some really good miniseries. I don't know if that's a word, which I'll highlight later in the show as well. And then we'll look at the actual eBay listings of stuff and hopefully get a garner kind of a taste of where people are trying to get prices for their stuff. So first and foremost, I'm sure a lot of you don't know what this book is. It's very, I wouldn't say rare, because I don't know what the print run is on this guy, but it's very uncommon. I think when this book came out, people were just kind of like, why would I buy this? I think people that did buy it, though, they kept it in really good condition. So the Bitcoin comic book handbook, I forgot who this is distributed by, but let's take a look. I think it's Devil's Due Comics. I thought this is a really fun comic book. It's a really fun take onto pop culture and economics, and something that has taken the world by storm. I mean, a new asset class in these times is just amazing. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the market for this. The one that I'm more familiar with is a different one. I guess this is the second print. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's really cool looking. Wow. So this is the original one that I'm used to, and I guess that is, yeah, I wonder if that's the one that people know of. But I think this cover is a lot cooler. And for 20 bucks, I might just buy that. I don't know. We'll see. I think it'd be cool to just have this and like get a 9.8. That's a little high for my take, and just put it away for like, I don't know, for a long time. There's a lot of people that do crypto money or know of it, and they're they're also, you know, kind of those cross kind of like platforms. So $20 for 2018 version. Captain Big One, I never heard of that before. I might have to look into that later on down the road. But yeah, it's going for $20, man. I mean, I remember this book, you know, during, I know this is on a lot of top 10 shows, or not a lot, but a few top 10 shows, and this was going for like quite a bit of money. And you know, it's come down quite a bit, obviously, as you can tell. But for $20, like, why not? That's a fun little book to have. It's not a mainstay kind of book, but I like it. That's pretty cool. And on to the next. Duke 1 in 250. Now, this Energon universe has just been amazing. I think with these ratio books, you know, the last show we did on the live, we did one in, was it 1 in 100s and more, or like 1 in 100s? The tough thing for these ratios is like it's artificial rarity, right? Because you have to buy like one, or you have to buy 250 copies of this. And so it's like, oh, just because there's 250 copies of, or, you know, it's a 1 in ratio, it has to be, you know, whatever. So, yeah, I think I personally would probably buy this out the gate, but I know people are really happy about the story, and the Duke story, I think out of all of them, is pretty cool, neo-noir. And anyway, let's take a look at the market. Again, I'm not really in the market for one of these guys, but if you are in the market for this, that's what it's going for. Duke number 1. 1 in 250. And there's several of these, so it complicates things a little bit. So I remember this was selling for like 300 out the gate. It's a David Mack cover, and I think I think out of all the Energon ratios, this is the best one so far. Duke number 1 comic. So 169.50 on that. Mad at that. There hasn't been that many recent sales here. These are all June 6th, so like 350. I mean, that's pretty standard. I don't know what's going to push this higher, like later down the road. This might be just one where you just really want it as a fan, and you know, on hopes that it just retains its value. But it's just going to be kind of tough, I think, in my personal opinion, to go up higher unless they do a new cartoon series or this Energon universe really gets. I think the only way that live action can really take off for this is if Robert Kirkman takes over the storytelling of this G.I. Joe Transformers Energon universe. I don't know how much pull he has in Hollywood for that, but to me, that's the only confidence that would bring to me. Otherwise, it's a great comic book. It's a great story. Kirkman's done a great job with this whole entire Energon universe, and it's every single issue is on my pull list, so that's how much I like it. So anyway, Duke number 1, the 1 in 250. Good luck. Cap Marvel number 5. I've talked about this book in past market shows. I really want to take a look at like the holdings of like short-term kind of interest in these books. So this book, it's Captain Marvel number 5. The kind of consensus was Captain Marvel is not a very highly ordered book. If you do think this is a Dodderman Gold standard comic, other than the Rogue cover, then you probably might be able to get a good bargain out of this. 150 to 250 for Raw the first week this book came out. This was, I remember seeing one almost for asking for 600. I don't know if they actually got that, but 9/8s are selling for about the same right now. But let's take a look at some Raws here. Captain Marvel, Dodderman. Wow, $89.99. So that's gone down quite a bit. 103.61, 177.50 by Sequential Art Comics. Follow him on Instagram. That was the end of June. So I mean, bargain hunters, man, go out there and get if you have faith in that Dodderman, holy cow. I don't even want to look at Captain Marvel number 4. Thank God I got out of that one, but that is crazy. That's crazy cheap. Maybe there's more out there. I don't know. But nonetheless, Captain Marvel number 5, the Dodderman variant, the 1 in 25 Dodderman variant for Captain Marvel 2024. This one I had a feeling was going to drop quite a bit out the gate. So this was going for like 200 to maybe 300 in Raw when the first week this came out. This was, I think, on many top 10 lists out there. Shout out to Stein's top 10. That's the one I usually watch. But they had this book on there, and all of them were kind of in disagreement of why is this book so high? You know, sell it. You know, now do not hold on to this book. The one thing that Bloodhunt has going for it is it started out the gate really good, and now it's just kind of like, I don't know, the story of Blade being like not Blade and being possessed by the first vampire is kind of weird to me. I hope it doesn't fall short. Like, I hope it doesn't turn into Donny Cates and like just falls flat on its ass. But $100 for this book last time I saw. I haven't checked this book in a long time, but let's take a look here. The art's pretty cool, like I'll say that, but and Loraz was like one of my favorites, so I'm pretty biased. So that's number 4. I remember there's an FOC list that was saying this was like the easiest flip ever. Huh, interesting. If you can hear some drums in the background, that is NCAA football, college football. So $197.50 for a 9.8. This one best offer $175. That's actually pretty healthy, I think, for a 9.8 for a miniseries. So not mad at that one. July 14th. I mean, that was this past weekend. So yeah. So not too bad. I think it's held off pretty well, but I don't know. If you had this for ratio, if you bought this for $50, I'd probably sell it now and just kind of move on to the next one. But Blood Hunt number 1, the ratio variant, 1 in 25. On to the next. But before we go on to the next slide, I just want to again thank everyone for your support. We're about 11 minutes into the little episode here. If you are enjoying this content, I'll keep doing it. Just hit that like button for me, subscribe, tell all your friends, and we'll keep doing this stuff. All right, Usagi Yojimbo Crow number 2, or the Crow, the variant for number 2. I love this book. I think I like this one better than Usagi Yojimbo. I don't know too much about this character, but the artist is very well known in the Pokemon community. So I think the number 1 it's a good one too. But I think if you're able to get this for like $80 to $100, keep it, make sure it's like in a really good holder. Wait out for the artist to come out and possibly, or maybe even I don't even Stansikai even alive still, but maybe get this autographed. I think this would be great for that kind of speculation. I would say more than 100 is quite a bit to put into this book. That's as far as investing is concerned, but I think it's a beautiful book. But let's take a look what the market's saying. Crow. So $199.99. That was July 4th. $381. This is a June 30th, so it's not the greatest. Actually, no, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty valid. 2 weeks ago, nothing really new has come out of this. Man, this is out the gate. This is quite a bit. So June 30th and June 16th, man. Sequential Art has a couple of these, and he put them out. Man, that's crazy how he had a 2-week difference. So it popped up initially. Yeah, I wonder what I don't know how rare this book is, but like $405 for this out the gate. That's crazy. And those are multiple bids there. So anyway, I think if you can get this book for like $100, that's probably the most I'd pay for it. There's a little bit of risk here, with long-term invest or long-term holding. And, I wouldn't want $200 for this in raw and just have it kind of sit there in my back issue bins to wait to get graded or wait on news or something. But I think there's definitely a very niche market for this comic book, for a brand new book as well. And so, yeah, there you go. It's on to the next one. Twig, the preview. I don't remember if I've talked about this book before, but I remember this book coming out the gate. This was like a $40 book at my LCS, and they sold it pretty quickly. And there was a lot of just kind of excitement for this book, and I haven't heard anything about it since. And there's not that many sales. I mean, we're looking at this. I'm not gonna give this too much love because I don't know. It just kind of sucks for people that were thinking this was. I think it sucks for the story. I read it. I thought it was pretty cool, like very different. This was kind of near the end of the pandemic craziness of 2022 comic book. So $24.99 and $35.99. I don't. Scotty Young, I feel like he's one of those artists that has gotten really popular, and he's put out really amazing work that is very different, and his storytelling is like phenomenal. But I wonder if he's just put on too much on his plate, and he's not focusing enough on original content or whatever. I mean, I hope that's not that. And it's not a jab at Scotty on at all, but I just feel like a lot of this the newer projects that he's been doing since he's got popular, they haven't really like garnered any fruition. So I don't know, just something that I thought was kind of interesting. But there you go, Twig, the preview Ashken, and this is kind of tough and high grade too. So I probably wouldn't put more than 15 bucks towards this personally, just because I haven't really heard anything about it like lately. So anyway, but if you like the story, I'm like, yeah, grab it. It's a cute little story for sure. Zelda #1. Now I know I've talked about this on video game market reports, but this is Zelda 1, the comic book second print. Now I think this is kind of a bargain if you get it for 50 to 100 bucks. I would probably go a little bit higher. I may just buy, and this is where my mindset's here, right? I would probably just buy a 9.8 and just invest in it. I would feel more comfortable having my money in a 9.8, and just with all of the just info coming out about this comic and this property, it's always going to do really well, I think. And I think the second print it's more of a bargain if you, because it's a little bit cheaper. But if you can find one in a nice grade and get it, maybe a 9.6 or even a 9.4, it might be worth it to get that pressed. Otherwise, I mean, a 9.4 for 120 to 160, that's really healthy for a book that came out in 1991. I think the only thing that might have going against this is that it might be a high print comic. I'm not really sure. I just don't know. But unless Legend of Zelda from Valiant Comics #1, the second print specifically for the purposes of this market report, I'd probably throw this one into kind of like one of the books that I would probably have long term and just hold on to, and not be too worried about putting too much money or having a graded copy of this and maybe CPR in it. This one, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I know a lot of people are hating on the MCU and Disney, for whatever reason. I get it. I'm not going to jump on that parade of hating on Star Wars or any future like MCU spec. But I don't know, man. I think Agatha to me was kind of a funny character, and the fact that she was behind everything and the actress is phenomenal. I think there's going to be cross-reference, kind of cross contamination of fans going into this book. And if you can get this in a 9.6 or 9.4, that might be worth it to me. $100 raw is last time I saw. Sure, why not? I don't know. I take that back now. I don't know if I would go that high for a raw copy. This book didn't really go crazy based off the spec. I don't know, or off the preview or what have you, but 9.0, that's not a bad one. I probably wouldn't go that high. Probably, like, if I was going to go an 8.0, I'd want to offer like $100 for one, just because I don't know what the character's going to do and I don't know how fans are going to take to it. This one's a 9.0 for 300. I'd rather personally go for like a first appearance of Shang-Chi in a 9.0 for 300. But let's see what the actual sales have done. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't share that tab. So $70.99. So it looks like it's getting a little bit of, and this is ended today. 96 bucks. 8.0 selling for 159.16. So it's healthy to see some sales in this book. So a little bit of, I think people are maybe they're, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe people are kind of excited about it. Maybe it hasn't gone as high as during the pandemic, but that's still pretty healthy for a BC D list character, what have you. She may have some more staying power because of this kind of horror type world that Marvel's not really doing well in and trying to push that. But yeah, there you go. There's a Fantastic 494 in CGC, and I think that's actually pretty healthy info as far as spec is concerned when it comes to like movies and stuff. Before we get into the last one, and you guys hate on me all you want, I again just want to say thanks everybody and hit that like button for me. And it's a really short video today. I don't have a ton of time to do this type of stuff, but nonetheless, I still wanted to do something. So hit that like button for me, subscribe, tell your friends about this, and watch our other past shows to kind of give you an idea of maybe like, I think a lot of people have like watch lists and they look at stuff or whatever, but I like watching these videos to like get reminded of books I should probably be on the lookout for. Like, oh, I forgot. Fantastic Four #4 was the first appearance of Agatha Harkness. I wonder what the market's going for now. Great. It's only going, a 9 is only going for 300 or 250 bucks. Maybe that's a snag that I got from this channel. That's kind of, and I like to go on other like channels and or networks and see what other like past videos and stuff to like either help out with the algorithm and help out with viewing hours and all that. But I also like to do it to get a gauge of like what people's minds were at different points of this investing comic book asset market class. So without further ado, let's get into the last one. I know Venom third print #3. It's my pick of the past 10 years, and it's holding around 300 to 350 and 9.8. And that's unautographed. I know I've seen autographed ones go as low as 300. I've seen them go lately as high as 500. I don't know what spurred that kind of like thing, but I read Venom, I think it was First Host or Venom Deadly. I can't remember the exact issue or miniseries that's come out, but it's basically Venom from different worlds, different realities. And specifically in the latest one, it's the Venom from the Spider-Man 2 video game. So who is it? Harry Osborn is Venom in this video game iteration. Spider-Man 2 on PS5, PS4, or whatever. Great game. If you guys are into video games, period, it was the funnest game I've played in the past 15 years. Swear to God. Well, I would say that maybe Zelda was more fun, but it was great. They made so there's a lot of references to Null in the video game. So you don't really, I think if you're not a comic book fan, you don't really get the Null references, but it was creepy as hell. And it's not Null who's putting this stuff out there. It's Venom, or your viewpoint. It's Venom. I think that the writers for, I think it's Insomniac, or I forgot the name of the company, but they're doing a really good job with writing and taking actual like content from the comic books and putting it onto the big screen, video game screen. And I think the fact they used Null or the presence of Null, he was kind of like a, hey, if people like this game, you guys should probably put this villain into the big screen eventually. He may come in like 10 years or maybe little snippets of Null. I don't know what they're going to do exactly, if they ever do anything with the character. But I think the fact that this book is holding at 300 to 350 bucks, the potential for this to be $1,000 once again, it's fairly low. But if you can get this for 300 and sell for 500, like in 2 to 3 years, and it holds that value, keyword, it holds 3 to 350, I think it's a good book to invest in. That's a modern book. And I don't really invest in a lot of modern books anymore, just because I got, like all of us, we just kind of got sniped. But I think it's a really good play. And I think you also have to be like a Venom fan, or like this run of Venom. I'm so biased towards him because he was basically the reason I got back into comic books and kept reading like on a monthly basis. Couldn't wait for the next book to come out. I just love this book, and I love the character. I'll never sell my first Venom 3 third print just because I got so much enjoyment out of it. So, well, that's the video for today. Thank everyone for watching. And again, thanks for your support. I'm trying to keep these going for as much as I can. And, if I don't have support, then I probably won't do the shows anymore. But since I do have your guys' support, I will keep doing these, and I'll try and help you guys as much to navigate the market and all that. But without further ado, you all have a great day. Thanks for watching the whole show, and hope to see you next time. Take care.